Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. As you saw in the thumbnail and title of this video, today is the day we get to try the new NATASHA DENONA HY-GLAM powder foundation. Now this foundation says it can be used one of two ways. You can use it as a medium coverage foundation with the puff that it comes with tapped all around the face for maximum coverage and mattification. Or you can use it as a setting powder. In today's video, I intend to try it both ways. Now, if you are not familiar with my skin type and my channel, I like to say I have desert dry skin. Sometimes I see people online who claim to have dry skin, and there are products that work for them that do not work for me because mine is even drier than those people. I do also heavily moisturize, so let me tell you everything I've done to get to this level of glow before my foundation application. And of course, I'm going to be doing a wear test to see how this foundation behaves and changes throughout the day on my very dry skin. So definitely stay tuned for that, and at the end of the video I'll give you my final thoughts. Now, even though I do have very dry skin, it's not unheard of for me to like a powder foundation. There are two powder foundations I have fallen in love with throughout the years. I'm hoping maybe this one will be the third one. I'm a big fan of the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Press Powder Foundation, so much so I have used a couple of these. I think this is the third refill, and I like to use this one as a powder foundation on top of my moisturized / primed skin without anything underneath. I feel like it looks natural on my skin. It doesn't get dry on me throughout the day, and it gives me a decent amount of natural coverage. The other powder foundation I am a fan of is this one here from Makeup Forever, the Makeup Forever HD Skin Matte Velvet Foundation. This one came out, I would say, a few months ago, and I love to apply it with the little puff that it comes with. It has a medium buildable coverage, a matte finish, but it doesn't get dry on me throughout the day. I feel like it's a hydrating type powder where it looks natural at first and then it even gets a little glowier as the day goes by. This right here is a fantastic powder foundation as well. So I am hoping that NATASHA DENONA, being one of my favorite brands, coming out with a powder foundation means it's a powder foundation that I'm going to be able to use, and some of the claims support this belief. So let's get into the claims. Also, before I forget, I do have a NATASHA DENONA affiliate code, so if you're ever shopping on the NATASHA DENONA website and you would like to save some money, you can use code PATTY15 and it gets you 15% anything you order from the NATASHA DENONA website, including new products like the new HY-GLAM foundation. Anytime you shop NATASHA DENONA, use code PATTY15 and you can get 15% off of your purchase. Back to the foundation. It has a 24-month shelf life. It has refillable packaging, and it is made in Italy. On the NATASHA DENONA website, it says that this Blurring Flex Tech Hybrid Powder delivers a poreless, oil-controlled, perfected second skin finish while caring for your skin. The foundation is available in 36 different shades. It says it has an innovative formula that contains Berry Flex Vita to help maintain the skin's hydration. That's the claim I was talking about. And anthocyanins for anti-inflammatory properties for a calm, even skin tone. It's packed with antioxidants. This hybrid powder protects against environmental stressors, while the biomimetic pigments make the formula melt into the skin and adjust to skin irregularities without breaking or flaking for airbrush-looking results. It has a matte finish, medium buildable coverage, protects skin against environmental stressors, it supports skin's natural elasticity and hydration, and it's anti-inflammatory. As I said, it has a refillable pan. Let me show you guys what the component looks like, and I got the shade N3 for myself, which I'm hoping will work. Here is what the actual packaging of the foundation looks like. Nice little compact square situation. As I said, my shade is N3, and then once you open it, take a look right here at what it looks like. It has a mirror on the top right here, and you lift up this little flap and it has another mirror here, not as nice as the first mirror, but you still get another mirror here. And then this is the little puff that they give you to apply it with for maximum coverage. Now let me tell you what I've done to my skin so far in order to prep it for the foundation, and I'm also missing a couple steps on one of my sides so that I can use it as a finishing powder too. For moisturizer today, I use my Magic Cream from Charlotte Tilbury, which if you're not familiar with, it is a nice, thick, hydrating moisturizer that gives you a beautiful glow. and it's also my favorite. And then I also use the IT Cosmetics Hello Sunshine Invisible Hydrating Serum Sunscreen. It's an SPF 50 that I've been testing out for the past week or so, and I'm loving it. I just told you guys about an SPF that I was loving, which is the mirrored one. And I think I might like this one even better because it feels even more lightweight. The mirrored one feels lightweight and like it primes the skin, but it's that kind of like silicone-y primer type situation, which I don't mind, but I do prefer thinner formulas. And this one is bomb. Anyways, besides that, and before I go in with the foundation, I'm going to apply some color corrector and concealer to my under eyes so that we have all the liquid products out of the way. This is my Cali Ray Hideaway Corrector. The shade is Cool Sunrise, and I'm just going to tap it in place. And then I'm going to do a bit of concealer over top. This one is from Laura Mercier. The Laura Mercier Real Flawless Concealer. And the shade is 1N1. And once again, I'm just going to tap it in place. Now, today I have a bit more redness on this side of my face compared to this one. So I'm going to test the foundation on its own so that I can see the coverage on its own on the redder side, and then on this side I'll test it as a finishing powder. For my finishing powder side, I'm going to use a bit of a tinted moisturizer as a base and then finish it up with the powder. So this one is the Rare Beauty tinted moisturizer, and I'm applying it weird because I mixed two colors. But anyways, the Rare Beauty tinted moisturizer, I'm going to apply some right here on this side. This is a lightweight sheer to medium coverage product that I feel like it's going to give me a nice base so we can test out the NATASHA Denona powder. And I'm just rubbing it in with a Rephr brush that has not come out yet, but I honestly can't wait for it to come out because it's the best. So here's that light layer of tinted moisturizer. And now we are finally ready to try out the NATASHA Denona powder. So I'm going to start by putting it on as a powder foundation on this side with the little puff that they sent with it. My main concern about this one is I've seen it online and the way it looks on people who potentially have glowier, more hydrated skin than I do, and it looks so matte that it scares me. So anyways, I'm just going to pat and distribute with my little sponge. The color is good for sure, and it is very blurring. Let me grab some more. Instead of doing this, which I was doing at first, I think dragging it is helping blend it a bit better. Moving on to the forehead. And I am, of course, going to go outside and show you what it looks like in natural lighting and everything. I'm taking it all the way to my under eyes because why not? I want to see if we can put it on top of concealer. Okay, I'm going to stop now because I don't know when to stop. So this side is completed using it as a powder foundation with a puff. As you can see, the skin looks very evened out. The redness is pretty much fully gone. I can still see some freckles through, which I don't mind. It has a really nice solid medium coverage. Even with the little puff that it comes with, I feel like the distribution of it was very nice. And most importantly for me, right now, it is not looking dry on my face, which is definitely a great thing. Powder foundations that work, as well as this one does, are definitely a fantastic thing to have with you on the go for days where you just leave your house with no makeup on and you want to like do it on the go, because liquids are messy, right? But this is very easy to apply all over the face and to be able to get an even base with and cover any redness or hyperpigmentation you want covered. This is very nice. Anyways, let's use it as a finishing powder on this side. And for a finishing powder, I'm going to apply it with my Rephr number 5 brush. This brush is a multitasker. I love it for bronzer and for blush and for finishing powders as well. It's so good. So I'm going to just tap it all over and then just kind of brush it on right on top of my tinted moisturizers. It's definitely immediately mattifying things a bit and also making my skin a little bit more even because the tinted moisturizers are a little darker than the powder. Let me do my forehead next. And why not the under eyes as well. So here it is applied as a finishing powder on top of a very lightweight tinted moisturizer. And I'm going to get my mirror with the magnifying part and tell you the difference that I see. And then I'll go outside. It's very dreary today, but we'll go outside and show you what it looks like in natural lighting as well. First thing I notice is I need to apply a little bit more right here in the center of the forehead. I neglected it. As far as coverage is concerned, I definitely see a little bit more coverage on the part where I apply the tinted moisturizer, especially in my nose area, because we have an extra layer of product on, of course. But as far as dryness is concerned, which is honestly my main concern, the side that I used it as a finishing powder on looks a bit more hydrated, not necessarily glowy, just a little less matte, in comparison to the side where I used it just as a powder foundation all over. However, this one looking a bit more matte is not me telling you that it looks dry. It doesn't look dry at all. It simply just looks a little bit more matte on this side than on this side. So far, I am impressed. So let me go outside and show you what it looks like in natural lighting before I go on with any bronzer or blush or anything like that. I'm outside now and the lighting is not as bad as I thought it would be. Yes, it's cloudy, but the sun has to be peeking through somewhere because it looks nice. Anyways, I'm filming with the front camera of my iPhone. And this is the side where we used the powder foundation on its own. Take a look at it up close. Even though it looks nice and matte, it doesn't look dry, which is definitely, as I said, the most important thing for me. And then here's the side where I used it as a finishing powder, which also looks very nice. It has a bit more of a natural finish over here rather than matte, maybe because of the added hydration of the tinted moisturizer, but it looks really good on both sides. I'm very happy with the color N3, by the way. So if we are shade twins, N3 is your color as well. And I'm going to go back to the studio and finish up the look with a bit of bronzer and blush. Back up here, and I'm going to use my Corselet Sculpting Bronzer from Cosmetics to give my skin a little bit of warmth. And I'm using the same Rephr number 5 brush that I used as a finishing brush. And for blush, I'm going to do my Pillow Talk blush from Charlotte Tilbury using a different Rephr number 5 brush. Just tapping it right where I want it. And for the moment being, this right here is the finished look with the NATASHA Denona Powder Foundation. I finished applying my foundation around 10:30 a.m. I'm going to try and do an 8-hour wear test, maybe a little bit more. And so I'll check back with you guys in a few hours to see how things are wearing. For now, it's been an hour since I finished applying it. I did take my sweet time coming back upstairs. So take a look right here after 1 hour at what things are looking like. I'm back. It is 1:45 now, and so it's been a little bit over 3 hours since I first applied the powder foundation. As you can see, I haven't done any more makeup since, but I will in a minute. I have another video to film, so when I see you next, I'll have my eyes done. However, 3+ hours in and not having added anything else to my face, here is what we are looking like. Let me grab my magnifying mirror once again and tell you if I see any differences. I feel like maybe right here next to my nose, you can see my pores a little more right now, especially on the side that only has powder, this one here. I feel like the pores are a little bit more visible there, but definitely nothing bothersome, and it also still does not look dry, which I am very excited about. Forehead still looking good. There's no oiliness coming through. Maybe on this side right here next to my nose where I have the powder as a finishing powder on top of my tinted moisturizer, I see a little bit of glow right next to my nose right there. Nothing bothersome. Does not look dry, but it is a bit glowier here in comparison to this side. Overall though, I feel like the makeup looks pretty intact, really similar to when I first put it on. The coverage is still intact. Nothing is looking dry nor crusty. If I compare from one side to the other side, I do still think I prefer it as a finishing powder rather than a powder foundation, just because on this side it looks a tiny bit heavier on the skin, but there's barely a difference, to be honest. I'm being very nitpicky about this whole situation. So far, still so good, and I will see you guys in a few more hours. I'm outside once again. The sun did finally come out, so let me hide from it. And I wanted to show you what the foundation is looking like in natural lighting after several hours. I think it's been 6 hours now. It's 504. So check it out right here. Honestly, I have no complaints. My skin does not look dry. The coverage is definitely there. I did do my eyes, as you can see. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my eyes, it's the new Ardel Cosmetics and Amy Love's collaboration palette, and the video with the looks will be up tomorrow. Anyways, the foundation, zero complaints about it. Looks nice, looks pretty poreless, and I'm liking it both as a standalone powder foundation on this side and as a setting powder over here. Back in the studio, and it is 7:20 right now, so we almost did a 9-hour wear test, which I'm happy with, and I want to finish it because I want to upload this video today. I feel like the foundation definitely did not disappoint. Natasha did not disappoint with this powder foundation launch. Here's what it looks like after several hours. This right here, remember, is the side where I applied it on its own. Without any tinted moisturizer or anything underneath, with the little puff, and as you can see, coverage is there. My skin does not look dry. It doesn't look textured. The foundation doesn't look heavy on my skin. All of those things were things that I was concerned about, and thankfully they did not happen. So very, very happy with this situation over here. And then on this side where I used it as a finishing powder, it looks a little bit more glowy because I do have a tinted moisturizer underneath, but again, no texture, no dryness, and no heaviness on the skin. I will say, I think throughout the first 3 hours of the wear test, I was liking the side where I used it as a finishing powder better than the side where I had it on its own. But now after several hours, I do kind of like both sides the same. I feel like my natural oils might have come through on this side, and it made things get better looking throughout the day, when at first this side did look a little bit heavier than this one. But honestly, I'm not disappointed at this at all. I'm loving it. I think it looks great as a finishing powder. I think it looks great as an all-over powder foundation. Now, using it as an all-over powder foundation is not my preferred way of applying makeup in general. I do rather use a liquid foundation because I feel like it looks a bit more natural on the skin. However, if I'm in a pinch or on the road or just on the go and I need something for all over, for medium coverage that I know is going to look beautiful all day, I would totally use this Natasha Denona powder foundation as my foundation for the day because it looks beautiful, especially past the 3-hour mark for me. Or maybe I can moisturize a little heavier, I don't know. Anyways, I think it looks fantastic on both sides, and this is me who has extremely, extremely dry skin. So if your skin is normal, combination, or oily, I feel like this foundation is definitely going to work for you as well. If your skin is dry like me, I would say that this one is definitely approved. Remember, if you are interested in it, you can get it with a bit of a discount with the code PATTY15 from the Natasha Denona website. And if you guys like this video and this wear test, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.